social media stuff.
Of course.
I love questions, okay? All right, so so what I do when I teach this now, there's no right or wrong to this, right? You make a pot, you're a potter. There's a million ways to move the clay, but over the years of teaching, I found I'm gonna give just the basics, and I'm gonna figure out what works for that individual, because we're all built differently, longer fingers, shorter thumbs, yada, 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 okay? But I have them written here and written over there. You know that the centering is the hardest part and the most important part. Yes, and then I have my speeds and everything there, okay? So, whether it's chair or stool is up to you, but usually people 5'6" or under, I say a stool. So you're up and over this like riding a bike, right? Elbows down, hands resting on the back. If I find you up on your tippy toes, I might offer you a yoga block so that you can put your foot up there so that you're more steady stable. My shorties use it and my big tall guys use it. Whatever's gonna make you more steady stable, but as long as you're comfortable. Okay. All right, so these bats, they're different than those ones, but green or black, they're the same. See the outer edge? See how there's a gap? It's the outer edge that fits our wheel. Okay. You're gonna wanna make sure it's attached, because if not, that's gonna go flying. Also with that coning up and down, I don't know if you've ever had it with the other bats, because it does happen when we cone up. If you accidentally tuck under, it can lift up and go flying.
Yeah.
Yes. Good. All right. My spiel has a lot of bad jokes, and I talk too quick. I talk fast as well. And but shout out any questions.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So yeah, these like to be dry, sticky, tacky. You're gonna pop it on with some oomph and conviction, like you're gonna be the boss of it. If it's slightly off to the side, it'll spin counterclockwise, and you can squish and squeeze it to help you out. Since it's been about a year since you've been on the wheel, I'm gonna suggest that first ball of clay, no expectations. Just dance with it till you maybe even kill it. That's the best way. Because when I hadn't been on a wheel in 7 years, I'm like, I must make something. It's stressful. Okay.
Cool.
So
I kind of go with the motto of this bucket.
hang out with it. Okay. Our wheels will keep their speed.
Oh,
so,
nice. Okay.
Cool. So you can put it anywhere you need it with the speeds changing and stuff, and especially when you're lifting walls, more steady speed. Because if you're going fast, slow, thin, thick, thin, thick, thin, thick. Okay. All right. So water, sliding and gliding, drown it. I want that wrist to be as smooth as possible. That's how I know that it's centered, right? Yeah, that both of them. But this left hand is your boss hand. With the way the wheel spins this direction, this left hand is your boss hand, and that needs to be nice and smooth. I tell people, especially when you're throwing bigger, check it from the start. Don't let this clay start to move you from the start, because then it's gonna throw you across the room, right? I got these 6'5" CrossFit guys coming in here and they're doing this. And then my little butt puts my hands on there. They're like, wait, what? All right, so you check it from the start, and then we can cone up, right? Creating that tunnel with the hands, connected, not a tent, not wrapped, and not tucking under, because that's what creates the ledge, and then things go flying, right? More squeeze down here, and as you come up, a little less squeeze, a little less squeeze. In the beginning, having been a moment since you've been on the wheel and or learning this clay, each clay has its own personality, less is more. You might only come up so high. Go ahead and start from the bottom again. If you have clay way out here, these fingers can tuck back here so you're not losing that clay, creating that tunnel. Wrists don't move, and up and off. Okay. Height doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be that crazy tall in the videos. They ring it up, they ring it down. And maybe with more clay, but really it's just fun. So then after we make our nice smooth mountain, we're gonna push the mountain down. We don't wanna just cup it like this. We need a flat edge on top and a flat edge on the side. It can be as simple as that and that, but the hands connected is gonna be more stable. I teach my beginners to grab their thumb if it's comfortable. I have them grab their thumb so the hands are working as a team. This about 7 o'clock, and then these fingers here can even fight the wobble too. This meaty bit flat on top. Okay. And then all those little bowls over there are people who've never been on a wheel before.
So like no pressure.
No.
They're just great.
No, but I'm just saying that this technique, like me starting them here, having never been on a wheel, and just this whole demo, I give them the basics and we go from there. But support the side, that left hand being your boss hand, maybe not just on the leg, but tucked into the leg, especially when you, or in the hip or the ribs, however, support the side, and we push from the top, pushing the clay to a gumdrop. We go from taller mountain to a gumdrop, cone up, cone down, all right? I make it look way easier than it is, I'm sorry.
No, I know.
6 years on a wheel. But we go from a taller mountain to a little gumdrop mountain because it still does have that wobble in it, and you go way down here, you're gonna lose a lot of clay trying to bring this back up. So taller mountain, gumdrop mountain. If we were gonna make a plate of something like that, we'd get it centered here first and then drop the mound. Okay, but still wobbly, we can cone up again, there's that tunnel there, but no right or wrong, I can squeeze here and here and go here. It's just squeezing either side, there's nowhere for the clay to go but up, right? And then we want to be nice and smooth about it. When I teach my beginners, I say don't come up so quick, because it defeats the purpose, you're making it worse, right? So nice and smooth. You're learning to dance with the clay. How much pressure does it take to move it and make it do what you want? Okay, there's 2 phrases that I harass my students with and ongoing for at least the first 3 to 4 times you're on a wheel. One is hands like a butterfly, meaning a butterfly lands on the flower doesn't move. Butterfly comes off the flower doesn't move. That's really important with the clay and stuff as well, right? So that's a nice smooth mountain, right? But if I was to come up and come off quick, or people like how it feels, I say no sweppy sweppies. It's no sweppy sweppies. Don't stop the wheel, don't love on it, you're killing me. But up and off like a butterfly, any step of the way. And you're gonna think you're a butterfly and the clay is gonna remind you you're not, because it'll start to wobble, right? Okay. I usually tell people that when we cone down, we can't just push from the top because it gets wobbly, so we need that boss hand on the side here, supporting, pushing down. Even there, if you push too fast, it'll wobble. But if you push just a little bit too fast, it'll mushroom. And that's actually the clay saying slow down. Slow down, give me time to move. Mushrooms aren't bad. These back fingers here can even out that wall, and then you realize that you need to first push down a hair slower. Getting to that gumdrop, there's a stillness in the clay, not the wheel, because that's a fast to medium speed, but there's a stillness, and then definitely come off like a butterfly. Don't come off quick.
Okay.
Come off quick, you could wobble into it. Now, we cone up and down until we get to where we're really close, and there's only a little wobble. You don't have to go back up and down again. Now it's the idea of nudging the side and nudging the top. We nudge the wobble out. You can do it how we normally do it when we're going down, or it can be as simple as if I nudge here and I nudge here. The wobble goes up. Okay. It can have more wobble than that, and it's fine. You can still make the pot. A little wobble's not bad. 9 times out of 10 there's gonna be wobble, right? Because we're not robots, right? And any step of the way when wobble happens, the worst thing you could do is panic. Don't panic. Doesn't mean you've lost the pot. All right, so that coating up and down, full is medium speed. The openings, first opening opens up the ball of clay, second opening creates the base at the bottom of the pot, full to medium speed. Ideally, elbows down and hands resting on this bat. If you hover and you're not steady, you're gonna get off center. So it's better to be here, just connected to the clay, not pushing against it, just connected. Thumb on top of thumbs, they're working as a team stronger, pushing dead center, opening up that ball. As it opens, it gets sticky-tacky. I prefer a single thumb here, peace fingers make it stronger, and we push here, opening up that pot. If it's centered to start and it starts to wobble, it means you're probably pushing too fast, or sometimes it's that dry spot, right?
Okay.
If it's drowned in water and it wobbles, it means you're pushing too fast. Okay. Yes, it's an ongoing class. Can you do me a huge favor? And that, just behind those wood sticks is a needle tool, or even that shark fin. You see those bright, colorful things? Give me one of those, that's fine. Okay. That'll do. 2-in-1 mud tools. Mud tools are awesome! They actually visited the studio last year. Okay, so to check our depth, eventually throwing the same amount of weight of clay, you know what is give yourself a 1/2 inch to be safe, because we're gonna compress, right? But when you've been a while or you're throwing bigger amounts of clay, the way we check this, did you ever check it? Once, okay. So the way we check it is we take a needle tool, not dead center, but off to the side, slight angle, and we're gonna stab into the clay. Finger meets the clay wall, stays on the needle, and that's 1/4 inch. Okay. 1/4 inch is good, but maybe to be safe, 1/2 inch, so that when we compress it to a 1/4. Okay. Good. All right, so then we might think that we have a little hole in our pot, but we don't. We're gonna take the sponge and we're gonna close it. Besides hands like a butterfly, the other thing I'm gonna harass you with is always support a single hand. No matter what you're doing, support that single hand, because this can snag and grab you, right? And or with my beginners, I think they get so used to when we cone up and down that this hand works over here a lot, that they'll leave it hanging out over here while this one's doing all this work over here, not steady. And I always joke and say that the pot's not gonna jump off the wheel. This hand should be helping this hand. Okay. Or if you hear the phrase, this hand's at the pool party, getting a suntan or having a beer, it should be hanging out with this hand here. Okay. So we support a single hand. You can use your finger, but sponge is less likely to snag. And then we just push down and that hole is closed. All right, now we do that second opening. The second opening creates the base and the bottom of the pot, right? There's a rule of thumb that we set our mound up for what we want to make. And the rule of thumb is this first opening shouldn't go past where the mound is. If I take this as I open, now the mound's going to grow, right? It's going to spread. But if I take this past where the mound was, way out here, it's going to start to wobble, and it's going to flop into a plate, and you're going to lose the whole top there. Did that ever happen to you?
No.
No, perfect. But you go past.
Too thick.
Better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry. But we want to set the mound for what we want to make, so I'm not going to take this past here. It's going to spread, but I'm not going to take it past there. So I prefer, again, hands resting on the back, connected to the clay, single thumb, peace fingers make it stronger, not riding up the pot, but pulling flat here like a magic trick. We have a little divot, we have a little mountain, that's fine. That's why we give ourselves that half inch to get rid of it, and also to compress this because clay likes to crack, right? Those S cracks happen. Doesn't mean it's going to leak, but it can scratch the table. I joke with people and say there's 4 steps to pottery surviving. Don't fall in love until it's at home. But we're going to push this down to compress it, to remove those little cracks and things. And the same on the outside. And you can actually get away with going either direction, back and forth, I found, but with that there. All right, good. Now we're going to make the pot. We go to make the pot, we can't just push the side and push the side, right? Because all that happens is it just goes in, it doesn't go up. So we've got to pinch and feed it up into itself. When we go to make the pot, we want that much more medium speed. The taller and thinner it gets, the hair slower. Okay. And then here's where we got to read our mound, right? Right now, I can see this is way tucked under, so I'm not going to pinch as much. I'm going to start there, starting at the bottom. Rule of thumb, always starting at the bottom and feeding the clay up into itself. We will break that rule when this is too thin and this is too thick, but we always start there. I usually ask my first timers, pinch your fingers, I don't care which, you're gonna grab it between 3 and 6 o'clock. That's the happy place with the way the wheel's spinning, and I just kind of watch them and see how they wanna grab it, because I've never been on a wheel. And then I come in with them and I talk them through how slow they need to come up the pot and how much to pinch. Because it is more about where is it thick, where is it thin, right? And once you can feel it, you can do it blindfolded. But as a potter, 3 o'clock's your happy place. The reason being is, can I lift here? Yes. Once it's taller than my hand, how am I going to get away with that?
Yeah.
And if I want to make tall things, I have to fight the centrifugal force, and I have to come here. Same here. There. Here, I can then go here, and then go here.
Yeah, okay.
So I come in here. The peace fingers make it stronger. I come in, I grab that clay. That's a dry spot. Never panic. Try and write it out. Make sure when you come up and off, come off with a butterfly, don't pinch it at the end. In between a lift, you might, like I'm doing, rest your fingers here and here. That can help keep it level. Yeah, we're not pushing hard, we're just resting, supporting. Right before you lift again, you might come in and feel it without pinching. Feel it. It was a thick down here. As I come up, it gets a little thinner and then a little thicker. As you feed the clay, it's going to feed into here, so you might keep the pressure all the same, but they're feeling the pot. To get water on every bit of here, we can rest our fingers and drizzle this. Okay. Also, if there's a lot of clay down here, you can do a trick. I'm giving you more information than I give beginners because you did it. You can tuck in here and create a little ledge. So now you can come under that and grab that clay. Make sure you get water right there. We come in here, we grab that lovely clay. And less is more. You know, 3-4 lifts is totally fine.
God, you make it look so easy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, not sorry. It's just 6 years of being on a wheel. It's just like riding a bike, right?
Sure.
When I first got back into pottery, I was there 4 days a week, 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
You're hopefully going to get good at something.
Right. That is very true. Very true.
All right, so there's not much more to feed up into itself. I like a pot that's a good 1/4 inch thick because when you pick it up, it feels the weight that it should. And they're gonna be more durable in the sink and stuff. Everything's gonna be dishwasher safe, microwave safe. Say that we have it flared out too much and I don't like it, I don't want it that much flared out. We could come here, but it's kind of really flared out that we're gonna be more steady. If we come here, that's that collaring in. You remember collaring in, nice and gentle. Don't overwork it. It looks like it's bending, but it'll go back. If we need to do it again, we come in again. You do it multiple times. And a faster speed can help with collaring a little bit. But if you're super thin, you don't want that, right? Shaping comes last. Normally, kind of make the most basic bowl, or the most, you know, if you're making something tall, making a mug, you do the cylinder first, and then you shape last. It's not about necessarily feeding the clay up into itself, but just shaping at the end. Because if you try, especially bellied pots, if you try to lift and shape that belly as you're going, it's gonna go out, 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 and it's gonna flop on you. So basic cylinder. But I'll go ahead and shape this because I'm gonna keep it water, water, water on every little bit of that pot there. Outside hand, or inside hand pushes out, and then outside hand pushes out. There. All right, good. Yeah. Then we make sure we get all the water out. I tell people, please don't stop the wheel and stop it up like this. You're killing my soul. Once the ball of clay is on there, we basically don't stop the wheel unless we're stopping to look at the shape or something like that and how we want to change it. We also don't swipe at it. We support a single hand. We rest the sponge, let the wheel do the work. Rest the sponge, all this glistening just gently up here. Get all the glistening out so it doesn't want to break down the clay and crack. Any slip chunks and stuff like that, so it's less work for later. And then this pre-trim, I love the pre-trim because it's less work for later, right? Yeah. Some people go in and they shove the clay in. Yeah. I don't like to do that. I actually like to steady hand go along the pot. I'm gonna change the shape a little bit as I do this. Drop there, then I tuck under there.
Oh, wow.
And then it's so much less work for later.
Yeah, I like that movement. Because I'm used to shoving down and then coming up, and I always feel like I just ruin the whole form.
Super steady hand, and then if you tuck under, and then pull out.
Oh, that's right.
Cool. All right, good. And then we wire cut it. I always joke with people, don't forget, yeah, you already know. This is long. Please don't bring this up and hit your pot at the very end. They'll be like, oh, you just told me that. They'll handle in one hand, wrap it nice and tight, thumbs flat, clean cut. The other thing I tell them is we got to go to the back side and pull towards ourselves because we're stronger and we're flat, and please don't come in and chop off the top of your pot. When that happens, I drop it down and say, hey, you have a wonderful utensil holder for your stove, air plant, coins, whatever, still functional. Not so close yet at the pot, but outer edge, resists you, not like butter on the counter, like, you know, it resists you, so you don't have to yank it, but just commit it. Boom.
Beautiful.
Don't yank the bats up because then it's going to hurt the pot, especially if the taller and thinner it is. Find a bat pin and a bat pin. And then, yeah, if you wanted a rice bowl or this, that, and the other, and flour, blah, blah, blah.
Nice.
Cool?
Yeah,
ready to rock and roll?
I will give it my best.
Okay, do you want me to be there for you for every step of the way, or you want to go for it first and then see where you land?
I think I want to go for it first, see where I land, which is probably still not going to be right.
Oh, no.
I'm
No, remember, there's no right or wrong to this.
Okay.
Cool. All right, this is you.